Yes. Thank you very much. I think it was great to see such a variety of initiatives from private sector, from government, from NGOs. So now we're going to challenge you, and I'm going to lead the discussion to better explore the barriers to implement product service systems, and then to understand how distributed manufacturing, distributed design can help to make product service system more effective.
Yes, so I just very briefly, I'm Manha from London together with Curitiba, and I have a product design background, and now I'm working on a PhD project where I'm trying to see how distributed manufacturing can help to overcome the barriers of product service system implementation. So actually, Lewis and Lana made a very nice introduction to their barriers they face, and I would actually like to ask each of you just to say, what are your barriers? What would you like to be solved? So, should we start? You know, it can be related to consumers, it can be related to your internal organization practice, just, you know.
So I think our big barriers in Aliança Empreendedora and making consultation to and execution of projects, trying to make inclusive business models, is to make the big company to talks with the low-income micro-entrepreneur. So they have different languages and different objectives, and our big challenge and a barrier, but I think it's a challenge that we want to solve, and it's our job to make them talk and to find the best business model to them in order to create value to the low-income entrepreneur, to make them the low-income happy, and to make their lives better, and also to make the company realize that the profit, it's not separated from inclusion and social inclusion. They need and they can do both things. So I think it's a very challenging thing to face the culture of the big businesses that sometimes wants profit and do not see the needs of the low income. And I think it's our specialty is to make this happen, to make them to talk, and it's sectors that it's more easier, and sectors that the companies do not start to do this. So it's a very huge market to start. I don't know. Okay.
Well, I noted some barriers that we faced with this kind of strategic innovation, PSS, and business model innovation. Like, for instance, know-how. It was the first thing that we have to barrier. So, know-how of PSS tools, PSS knowledge, how to apply, how can we involve the user, the customer, the partners, how to understand the chain, was the first of the barriers. So we try to pass through this barrier with the help of the academy. And I think that this project has a big picture on this to help us to understand better more tools, more methods, more ways of doing things. I think that a culture of human-centered design, maybe. I think that companies, even they tell this, I think that really few companies have this culture of human-centered, of listening to the users, the customers, and this is what we are trying to do and to surpass. I think that a culture of service design too, it's very important, because here in Brazil, big companies are big companies because of manufacturing, because of mass production in the most part of time. And to do this transition of mass production, manufacturing to the service, it's very complicated. So what we were trying to do is overcome this barrier to new business. Sometimes it's difficult to actual business. So in business, it's a possible solution. Maybe change management, it's very important because we are talking about a lot of changes and to have this knowledge at a company. We faced some barriers with prototyping. It's a big problem when we are trying new business and new PSS systems. When you have a product, it's easy to prototype, but when you have a service, when you have a PSS, it's very difficult. So we are talking other day, it would be very nice to have like the global channel studio to do the PSS prototype or the service prototype. It's very difficult to do this and to show the result of the PSS to the top management. So it's really hard to show how it will work and so forth. Maybe the merge of business, the model business innovation and the PSS, what you use, how to combine both methodologies, because companies seek for income, for profit, and by the other side the users want the solution. So sometimes it's tough to accommodate these two things. And I think that Brazil needs to go forward to legislation. Legislation of Brazil don't help us companies to improve and to put the PSS to work. I think that we have problems with copyright, with some problems with quality assurance here. So it's very difficult to have a distributed economy if you don't have the specific laws to do this. And I think you need to pass this barrier. Investment, intellectual property, and distributed manufacturing, it's very difficult because if you talk about brand awareness and the quality assurance of your product, of your service, to organize, to distribute this knowledge, this service or this product, and guarantee this quality assurance is very, very difficult. So for us, this is very important.
Thank you. Thank you. How about Curitiba?
Well, governments have law barriers and many law barriers. I think the main barrier is that we are designing a new model, and governments in general have this challenge. They need to design a new operational model. The same thing that happened with the banks, the airlines, and communication business, and other business. We are expecting that we must occur in governments, because governments will not disappear, but they will not be able to supply the needs of the society and the citizens if they continue working the way we work now. And the way of providing services, of providing access to the solutions of the problems of the society and the citizens must change. And we must change this operational model of work, or the business model of work. Business is not a good word for government. We can use it in this sense. In this area that we work, that is the design, development of solutions in ICT, we have this barrier. We must design a new model, because the tradition, the full culture is that government does all, and both government and the people, the society, expect that governments does all. So this new approach, this new way of doing the things must be developed. We must try models and must find the best model to do that. Another internal problem of governments is that the data open. Because traditionally in Brazil we had our democracy is very young, and we had more than 20 years of dictatorship, a military dictatorship, in which information was something that was owned by government, and no one should access this kind of information. We had new laws about this, but we have a very small practice on that. So this is a barrier. It's not enough that the mayor sign an act saying that all the information that is not individual of the citizen is open, is public. It's not enough. And another barrier that we have is the engagement itself, because we have some problem of the image of politics in our country. But the good is that young people are in. They all the initiatives that we had in this area, we have lots of young people that want to participate, want to be engaged, and want to do something to turn better the life in the city. And we have a big barrier in this area, that is the laws related with buying and acquisition of products and services in government. We have old laws and they are not flexible, and the laws in Brazil protect structured companies to participate in the biddings and in this buying process. So small companies and startup companies have big difficulty to supply products and services to government. It's almost impossible to do this. And we have new laws in Curitiba related to this, but either these new laws, they does not solve the problem. It gets some advantage to small companies, but not startup companies. So I think these are the main barriers in this area.
Thank you. We've already, do you have anything to add?
Not for me, but I presented, in my presentation I talk about the coletivo alimentar barriers, but there are some other barriers from each supply, specialized supply, for example, the chef.
Maybe one of the biggest challenges is to change the mindset of the public, because sometimes they are going there and expecting to find a restaurant, and it's not exactly what we are offering. It's a different service. We offer food, but in a different way. And the idea of every week you will find a new chef preparing your food is not like a restaurant at all. So maybe changing this habit, introducing a new concept of eating in a different way.
Like a new concept of government, a new concept of accounting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think when we do this marriage between design offices and companies, we have a lot of problems. But for example, in the design offices part, it is hard to accomplish the deadlines. So we established some deadlines, and it is really hard for some of them to do it, to make it happen, the deadlines, and to understand the real need of the company. Sometimes the company, they already have the tools and the design, they have to develop some products or some packaging with the tools that the company already have. And because to the company to invest in design and new tools is really hard. So the design has to understand these needs. And in the side of the company, we have to show them that the design is important, that they have to design a new product, not copy or not like use some things that are already in the market. So it is a new product, so they have to invest, right? You pay the design house, but you have to invest already. So this is the side of the company. This marriage there are some steps that it is really complicated for the both sides to understand.
Great, thank you.
Well, I'd say the biggest barrier is trust. People don't trust other people, and people don't trust companies. I mean, when you get your telephone bill and there is $300 extra, I mean, you didn't use that service, but they're still charging it. What do? You cry because you know you spend lots of time on the telephone trying to get that money back and to solve that problem, because we are used to companies that don't want or to solve customers' problems. So if I say, you're gonna get your car on fleeting and you're gonna share it, first thing you ask me, those are classical questions. Everybody asks me like 100 times. What if someone vomits on my car? What if someone robs my car? What if someone gets my door a dent, crash? Well, we are a company. We work with car sharing. We have procedures for that. We know how to handle it. And yes, we will solve your problem. But people don't trust. They say, but what if? So that is the challenge. The challenge to make people see that car is not a treasure, just like I said. It's transportation. It can be shared, and it's smart, intelligent to share it. And that if you have a problem, which, I don't know, you are on the street, things can happen. Things can happen. You can get car accidents, or I don't know. But you have to trust that the company is able to provide support when you need it. And we are trying to prove that by having by communication. We do a work on mail marketing, and even we are starting to do videos to empower to change this idea that the company will not solve the problems and that the other person is not trusted.
Great, thank you. Well, we have a lot of barriers here. Just because we're running out of time. So I'm going to briefly sourcing local materials and using local communities. It's also about enabling technology, so using all the communication via internet and all new technology. And also it's a lot about collaboration between all supply chain actors, so knowing your consumers, really knowing your suppliers. So basically building that network. And talking from sustainability perspective, this could help to the distributed manufacturing and design can help to overcome barriers related to all product lifecycle stage, as actually Dr. S&DE already mentioned earlier this morning. So what I prepared on your tables, you actually see cars that have opportunities of distributed manufacturing and design, and how these opportunities, we can actually like briefly think about how these opportunities could help you to overcome your barriers. Maybe not all of them are very relevant to your particular companies and businesses, because it's also a lot about manufacturing of products. But for example, some of them, like sourcing local materials or using only local communities, how this can actually help you to overcome some particular barriers. Also, I can just, actually, I believe these cards here, so anyone who wants to get like a bit more familiar, because there are some examples there as well, like real world examples. As well, thinking about, maybe that's a bigger, quite because you're basically product oriented. So if you can think about using this like very local manufacturing facilities, does that help you to somehow, to make better, to make your service better?
We are thinking about this, but as I mentioned, there is a barrier that we need to overcome, that is the quality assurance. So everybody could have a 3D printing at home and to print our pipes and fittings. But how do we as a brand would assure the quality of this product? So Brazil need to walk and to try to overcome this kind of barriers.
Because it's just the very, very beginning of all this movement. And also talking about fab labs, could this involve local communities help you to, for example, when you were talking about furniture, can you imagine like developing all this like interiors with people that actually have access to a certain type of equipment that could actually help you to make these products? Or do you think this could be something feasible?
Yes, absolutely. We started to build this kitchen, so yes, it's possible. Not now, but into a new future. Yes.
This is probably a bit of a like 3D printing at home, which is a bit of a future, of course, but probably the quality issue is here also very, very great. But it's a bit of an idealistic vision that we could actually just get rid of all the manufacturing facilities that are really far from us and just like produce things at home. Also in store or really like close to your customers, or like looking at bits of product end of life, which is also very product oriented and really addressing sustainability issues. I think this is working. This issue of like really listening to your customers and collaborating with your customers. This could basically help to actually have this like better connection, isn't it?
At Tigri, we discovered that our customers they have all the solutions. We don't need to create anything. It's just to ask and to co-create. So it's much more easier to do it like this. So this is one that we are using and it's working.
And do you think, where you were talking about trust in the car sharing company, do you think if you have this like more consumer engagement and when you like really know the core of this effect, that transparency, do you think that could help them to build that trust if they are, for example, a part of the community or this like very big close connection? Do you think this could help build trust?
The experience the users from Fitzy have, it ends up on organic marketing because for example, a owner of a vehicle has a problem with a crash, okay, and he gets his problem solved. he was there and he talks to his friends, his peers, about the experience he had with the company. And it starts to spread the word of trust. I mean, it's okay, you can rent your car and nothing bad is going to happen. You know, when Airbnb started back there, I mean, are you going to share your house? I mean, how crazy can that be? You know, and now it's okay for us to say, I'm renting my house, I share my house on Airbnb, I'm going to travel, I'm going to stay somewhere at Airbnb. So this experience, the sharing of the experience the clients have with the company also helps a lot to build this trust and to change this mindset.
Do you think that building that collaboration between you and your partners and this like always using the communication technology and all, do you think this could like you're lacking of that conversation right? between you and like other parts of the environment? Do you think this like just having like this facilitating conversation using technology or using just like face-to-face communication? Do you think that could actually help too?
I think that's what we are doing to really have active listening about their problems, the micro-entrepreneurs' problems, and the company problems. So we need to use these tools to connect them. And I think it's very simple, but it's the key of our work.
Yeah, it has to be somehow facilitated. Exactly, and actually the distributed design and distributed economies can help to create that the kind of net of people that could actually help each other to create better businesses. Also via internet a lot, we think that people from other parts of the world that could actually contribute to your businesses and to your organization. I don't know if that's very relevant to what you're doing, creating all that customized experience for particular companies or particular users, which also distributed manufacturing and design can help to implement.
We are using this tool, this process, and I think that the main difficulty here is copyright and intellectual property. Here in Brazil we have some problems with this. So every time we try to do this, and it's a challenge that Francine and I need to accomplish by 2018, and it's very complicated to a big company. So we are trying, and we would like to do this more and more, but it is still a challenge with this kind of big problem.
Basically, the complexity of all the whole organization is all this implementation. And also create something especially for a particular user, which is also probably very challenging. You think about like creating a service for a specific person, which also probably a challenge that in the future I think we want to be able to do this. So this is what I was prepared for you. So if anyone is interested in analyzing a bit of the information apart, this each has a real world example. So they will be here. And I really want to thank you, everyone. Thank you for the audience.
I imagine that the public here and the guests here, when invite them, they ask me, what? Myself from the city council or from Curitiba Alimentar or Tigre, Agência Empreendedora Free, what? What's the connection? Huh? So many different. I imagine that in your case, Paulo, usually are government or institutions, or in case of Tigre, usually are events of companies in the same sector. But you see, there are many connections here, many common challenges, many things that the government NGOs and institutions from the third sector all sharing similar big issues. It's a new society, it's a new avenues, and we are in the same boat. Someone in the coffee break asked me, I saw this, every time someone presents, there is more questions at the end and answers. This is the issue. Now, in this new world or new music, there are plenty of questions, very little answers, but the idea of exploring, like essentially Council is doing, keep doing, like the team is doing, like exploring new avenues, they no other way to learn than trying to do that. And then I think we learn a lot from you. Really.
There is another challenge that is not directly in my area, but is a challenge to the city administration, but is how to deal with these new business models, this new economy of sharing or economy of sharing assets in general. That's the food business model, is the Airbnb and other. And this discussion that is very good now, that is the discussion over Uber, is not a discussion of if this is a good service or not. The discussion of government will deal with this new economy. It's the same thing. No one discuss about Airbnb, but Airbnb is almost the same of Uber or Fleet. You can share your assets that you are not using at that time, either your personal time.
Yes.
So this is a challenge for governments in general, how to deal with this and how it must be regulated or not, how you assure that citizens will be protected, and what will happen with the tax income. There are lots of problems that we must deal with.